Hey guys, I decided to actually record my workouts and post some gym videos. So this is my chest day. I'm starting with a warm-up on incline with just the bar. This is actually how fast I'm doing it. This isn't sped up, by the way. Totally real. Now we're going on to 155 pounds with the spotter. I hit it for 8. Had to stop after that because my form was getting a little messy. Started getting a little bit out of the chair, which is never good. You're less stable doing that. Got to keep your feet planted and most of your body actually on the bench. As you can see, grinding out the last few reps here. Takes a second though, because it has to look like this, or you're not going to make any progress, you know? We're going to let that play out here. Next, I dropped the weight down a little bit. For my second set, I believe I was at 145 for the second set. Knocked 10 pounds off and hit 8 reps pretty clean. So about the videos, I was thinking, I'm getting pretty well into this. I've hit 180 pounds bulking, and I'm about to start a cut. I may as well record it and post online, see if it helps anyone else get in the gym or actually get inspired to do it. And then I dropped down to 135 pounds for this last set. So I was thinking, upload a video every day of my workout. Maybe some of my meals, nutrition, stuff like that. I might get into personal training. Let me know if you're interested in that. I don't think I would even charge starting because I just don't know. I don't have enough experience, but hit me up if you want to do a workout and I can get you set on the path. And then I'm finishing up this set here and we're going to move on to shoulder press next. Now, when you're doing shoulder press, be very careful to set the bench to the right place before you actually lean backwards. As you can see here, I didn't do that. And when you're carrying a lot of weight like that, which these are 65, so it's 130 pounds, you can hurt yourself. Thankfully, I didn't. So here's my first set. I did down the weight after this first set is over to 60s, which is 120 pounds total. But right here, right, you got to really grind it out. First rep is always the hardest. And then you can always do more than you think you can do. You just gotta, if you feel like you're getting stuck, you just gotta keep pushing and you'll slowly get up for that last rep. Shoulder press is one of the grindiest ones, but it's one of my favorites. I'm doing this for my front and side delts, mostly front, and a little bit of my upper pec. And then we're going to move on to set 2. This is with the 60s. With incline bench, I already hit my chest. Upper chest mostly, and then a little bit of my front delts and a little bit of lower chest. A lot of lower chest, but mostly upper chest. So now we're moving on to my delts. So that's set 2, and then set 3, we're looking at with the 60s again. And then it's weird with shoulder press. You got to get, once you get that first heavy set done, it feels like you can do more after that, even though you should be weaker. And it's not even like a warm-up thing, because incline bench should warm you up for this movement, because it's only a little bit different, a little bit of a change in angle. Sorry if I'm stuttering a little bit. I don't have a script. I'm going off the cuff. Anyway, that's shoulder press done. We're doing chest flies now. So this is a pec deck where I have my arms at an L shape and just pushing it towards the middle. I've got, I believe it was 160 pounds to start. It shows it in the video. I'm not watching the video as I do this. I just have notes as to what time I'm doing everything. Now, you'll see me in a couple of these sets lean forward as I do them. You should avoid that if you're going to be doing this yourself. Just keep your back planted and you'll be much more stable and controlled. Moving your body forward is bringing more muscles into the equation. You're not isolating your pec anymore. So you got to set this back to a deep, almost uncomfortable stretch, and then come in and close it. I'm on to the second set now. And you just do that as much as you can. And then at the end, just do some partial reps. Push in, and if you can't get to the middle, no problem. Just go back and do it again. You're going to get less and less every time, and then you can rest. Now, the second set's done. I believe for this last set, I do a drop set. So after I can't move it anymore, I lower the weight and do that again. And this helps you absolutely destroy your muscles. And not in a bad way. Destroy in a good way. Like, you will get crazy growth from doing something like this. Like 3 heavy sets with a drop set at the end is like chef's kiss. You'll be sore for days. In a good way, again. Remember, if you want progress, you're going to be real sore. And you'll see that in my leg day video coming up. Oh my goodness, I could not walk for like days after that. Well, that's a little bit of an exaggeration. I was sore. Some crazy leg press during that, but that's for the future. You'll see that in a couple days. All right, so after this, I'm gonna hit cable skull crushers. You'll see in a couple seconds. I messed up the setup for these, which is a little bit of a... I mean, it was mostly the camera setup, not the cable itself, so I moved that a little bit. Gotta keep the bloopers in here. So, for this, you gotta just, keep your elbows tucked in and extended over your head, and you'll, as long as you stretch all the way down between every rep, you'll get very, very good stretch on that tricep, and you'll grow like crazy, get way stronger. Trust me, I went from 65 pounds on these, I believe 50 I started, to doing 95 in a very small amount of time, in a few months. So I've almost doubled the strength of my triceps. So this is finishing up the first set here, and then these sets are pretty quick, pretty snappy, compared to something like incline bench. These accessories take less time. You don't need to rest as long because it's less muscle, so you're less fatigued. It's not as, your heart rate isn't as high from doing this because it's only your triceps. A little bit of forearms also, obviously, but that's hardly worth mentioning at this point. Moving into we're in the middle of the second set, so yeah, these, you'll be able to do a similar amount in the first 2 sets, but the third set you might struggle a little bit more at the end, but that's okay. You can always just keep going up, and the thing about this is once you can't do another rep, you'll be stuck at the bottom, which is exactly where you want it to be the hardest. You want it to be the hardest in the most stretched position for your muscle. You'll get the most gains out of that. Trust me, I got pretty decent triceps from doing this only for a few months. Anyways, we're going on to lateral raises now. These, I like cable because you can, again, do a better stretch on your side delt, and it's like you're sweeping your arm out with these 30 pounds. I have 30 pounds on it. You have to go really light on these. For this, you need to keep your feet stable and not move your body too much. On the last few reps, you might see me lurch a little bit. That's okay, you know, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, especially when you're like at the very end of your set, but it shouldn't look like that the whole time, only for the last couple. You got to keep your body as still and stable as possible for most of this. So we're moving on to the second set here in a second. Excuse me. For the second set, I believe I did 30 again for 8 or 10 reps. We'll see. I think the first one might have been 10, second one 8. But you need to hit side delts hard if you want them to grow. That's probably my worst muscle. I'm very lacking on side delts. I got good front delts, good chest. All my back is good. My arms are good. My side delts are lagging, so I don't look as big as I should for my weight. I'm 180 pounds. I'm 5'11". But I don't look like that because my shoulders aren't popping out as much as they really should. So I'm finishing up the set 2 in about 20 seconds here. This takes a while because you got to do it separate each arm, but that's what you got to do when you're doing lateral raises. You can do both at once with different variations, but then you don't get as good of a stretch. And I just prefer the one with a better stretch. And plus, you don't need to rest that long, so it doesn't really add too much time. It adds maybe 30 seconds per set over dumbbell lateral raise with both arms, which isn't that big of a sacrifice. But here, we're moving on to the third set, which I'm also doing a drop set with. I believe I went to 20 and then to 10, which if you can tire your side delts out on 10 pounds, they're gonna grow for you. Trust me. This is the strat here. And the tough part about lateral raises is that every jump in weight is such a big percentage. Like with incline bench, if I went up 5 pounds to 155 to 160, that's like 3% increase. But going up from 30 to 35, right, that's like, let's see, let me do the math real quick in my head. That's like a 16% increase, which is a much bigger, and it's a lot harder on you. And especially this cable machine only has 10-pound increments, which makes it a lot more difficult. You go up from 30 to, if I tried to go to 40, that is a 33% increase, which, you know, your muscles won't enjoy, right? You won't be able to do it. If you could, I can barely do that for 10 on 30 with good form. I wouldn't be able to do it on 40 for maybe 2 or 3. Like, that would be pushing it. Anyway, I'm finishing up here. Next, we're going to do tricep pushdowns. Now, I prefer the one-arm version because you can really isolate it, and I think I'm leaning too far forward. You got to be like hinging at your elbow and just pushing down and really, really squeeze your tricep at the bottom and really stretch it up top. And this hits a slightly different part of the tricep from cable skull crushers. It emphasizes a different part. Although you can get away with just doing one of these and you'll be fine. But doing both really completes it. It's like a package deal. You're better off with both. Here we go to the second set in a few seconds here. But these you'll go way lighter than half of your two-handed tricep pushdown weight, just because you're able to get a much deeper stretch and a much better squeeze. You'll have to go lighter, but you'll get, I think, better results, in my opinion. Although I'm not some exercise scientist, I don't have any accreditations. All my everything that shows I'm trustworthy is attached to my body. And I think that's how it should be in this field. You look at me and you can say, I think he knows what he's talking about, at least to some extent. I'm no professional bodybuilder, of course. But we're finishing up the third set here in about 10 seconds. But these are a very good tricep finisher. You will be, like, after cable skull crushers and doing this, and doing the compound movements that include triceps, they'll grow, for sure. And as long as you hit pec deck hard enough after incline bench, your chest will grow. I just think I need to add more side delt stuff, because that's what I'm most lacking in. But here we're doing some push-ups to finish up. Doing 12, and I was going to go for 15. I was going for 15, but I could only get 12. I paused. I'm like, I'm doing 3 more. You'll see me put 3 fingers up. That means I'm doing 3 more. I'm going to go for 2 more. And those are tough reps. I'm grinding out that last one. And then I fail on the third. And then I have to go for the final rep, of course. So I take a second, I go down, and I made it look like I was doing a pause rep. I'm going to be honest. I just couldn't get it back up. So I stuck my hands out for a second, put them back in, and I pushed myself up with terrible form. And I do not want to see any of you doing that. I'm taking a minute to do some posing here so you can just see the results. I can see the results. I got a very good chest pump today, a decent tricep pump, and an all-right shoulder pump. But my chest is looking good. I'm going to hit a few poses here. No professional bodybuilding poses or anything, but you can just see the results on me. But yeah, for this channel, I was just thinking, upload my workouts, minimal editing, talk along with it, give it a little voiceover, 10 to 15 minute videos. Nothing insane. Maybe some meal prep, nutrition videos later. Working out with my friends, all that sort of thing. So let me know what you guys want to see. If any of you want to hit a workout, let me know and I'll go with you. I was thinking maybe starting personal training, as I mentioned earlier, but that's not set in stone yet. If you need it, let me know and I'll see what we can set up. But this is gonna be the end of the video here. Just give me a comment, like, subscribe, all that, and thank you for watching.